The soft click of the bedroom door didn't stir Kuru. He was lying on his back, one arm flung over his forehead, staring blankly at the ceiling fan as it spun in slow, deliberate circles. Akashi stepped inside, barefoot and quiet. He always moved like that, elegant, almost soundless, as if the world made room for him wherever he went. His hair was slightly mussed from his shower, damp at the edges. He wore one of Kuru's old volleyball t-shirts, oversized and slipping off one shoulder. Effortlessly beautiful. It wasn't fair, really, how someone could look like poetry without trying. Kuru's heart ached. He turned his face toward the wall. "You've been quiet," Akashi said, voice low and distant. "Just work. You always say that when you're trying to disappear." Kuru shut his eyes. He could feel Akashi's presence settle on the edge of the bed, could smell the faint scent of his shampoo. A lavender calm, like everything about him. "You ever think," Kuru said slowly, without looking at him, "that maybe, you're wasting yourself on me?" There was silence. Not shocked silence. The kind where someone listens very carefully. "I mean," he continued, trying to sound light but failing completely. "You're you. You're brilliant. You're thoughtful and composed and beautiful and sharp in ways that actually matter. You always seem to know what to say, and how to say it. You've been with Bakuto since you were what, 16? And then Kenma came along and you clicked with him too. Like you were made for them." He swallowed. His throat felt like it was lined with glass. "And I came in late. You and I weren't even a thing until the whole poly conversation started. You didn't choose me the way you chose them. I just slotted in. And I keep thinking," his voice cracked, "you'd be better off without the spare part." Akashi was silent for a few long seconds. Kuru braced himself. For what? He wasn't sure. A gentle rejection, a correction, a sigh. Instead, Akashi reached out and placed a cool hand against his cheek, guiding Kuru's face toward him until their eyes met. His expression wasn't angry or hurt. It was devastated. "You really believe that?" Akashi whispered. "After everything." Kuru tried to look away again, but Akashi kept his hand there, grounding, calm. "I heard you," Kuru admitted. "In the hallway. You said, 'Sometimes I think I'd be happier with just him.' And I knew you meant one of them. And I didn't even blame you, Keiji. How could I?" Akashi blinked, his hand still on Kuru's face. "That's what this is about." Kuru didn't answer. "Oh, Tetsuro." Akashi's voice cracked with something between disbelief and heartbreak. "That was about work. I was talking to myself. I'd just gotten an email chain from my editor, and I was pissed. I said, 'Sometimes I think I'd be happier with just him managing my schedule.'" "My schedule, Kuru. Not you." Kuru's chest stuttered. What? You thought I was talking about our relationship." Akashi's fingers curled slightly against his jaw. "About you. Yeah. It just sounded like," he trailed off, mortified. Akashi looked at him like he was something fragile and brilliant. "You always do this. You think the worst of yourself before anyone else can." Kuru let out a dry laugh. "Can you blame me?" "Yes," Akashi said, firmly. "Because I love you. And it hurts to see you treat yourself like you're temporary. Like you're a guest in a home you helped build." The silence stretched between them, raw, pulsing with things unsaid. Then Akashi leaned in and pressed his forehead to Kuru's. "You are mine, Tetsuro. And not as an afterthought. Not as a substitute. I don't slot people into my heart like storage containers." Kuru let out a shaky breath. "You chose me?" he asked, quietly. "Every day," Akashi said. "I still do." Kuru didn't cry. But he blinked too hard for it to be casual. Akashi slid down beside him and pulled Kuru's arm around him, curling into his chest like he belonged there. "Next time you spiral," he murmured, "can you talk to me before you crown me your executioner?" "I'll try," Kuru whispered. And he meant it. Even if the fear wasn't gone, the warmth in his chest, held tightly against Akashi's body, made it easier to breathe again. The balcony lights were dim, casting a warm golden glow across the floor. The city murmured below like a half-forgotten dream, but up here, everything felt still. Kuru sat curled on the outdoor love seat, knees up, arms around them. A hoodie tugged over his head. It was one of Kenma's, and it smelled like tea and old game cartridges. He heard the sliding door creak open behind him. Kenma padded out barefoot and wordlessly handed him a mug of hot water with honey. No tea. Just warmth. Your comfort drink, Kenma said softly, sitting down beside him. Kuru offered a faint, sheepish smile. Thanks. Kenma took a sip of his own drink before glancing at him. You really thought Keiji wanted to leave you? I didn't think he wanted to, Kuru murmured. Just that he might be better off if he did. Kenma stared at him flatly. You're an idiot. Yeah, I know. No, like, world-class idiot. You're so stupid it's impressive. Kuru snorted. Thanks for the empathy. Kenma leaned back. You don't need coddling. You need reminding. Kuru went quiet. Remember when we were 14? Kenma asked. You were the only person who waited for me after every club meeting. Even when you had to sprint to make it to cram school. I didn't want you to walk home alone. You didn't want me to walk home alone, Kenma corrected. You don't do that for just anyone. You've always made people feel safe, Tetsu. Kuru's throat tightened. You did that for me. For Bakudo when he thinks he's too much. For Akashi when he thinks he's not enough. Kuru looked over at him slowly. Do I? You anchor people. Not with some dramatic gesture, just by showing up. Every single day. Kuru let out a shaky breath. Then why do I still feel like I'm replaceable sometimes? Kenma shrugged, glancing out at the skyline. Because you care too much. And your brain is mean when you're tired. Kuru laughed quietly. That's probably the most accurate thing anyone's ever said to me. Kenma bumped his shoulder lightly. You're not just wanted here, Kuru. You're loved. Me, Akashi, Bo, we don't function right without you. Kuru stared into his cup for a long moment, then leaned gently into Kenma's side. Kenma didn't pull away. I'll remind you again if you forget. The apartment had gone quiet for the night. The dishes were done, the lights were low, and the only sound was the hum of the fridge. Akashi stood in the kitchen, still in his house clothes, arms crossed over his chest. He looked tense, wound tight, like a bowstring ready to snap. Bakudo entered slowly, barefoot, rubbing his hair with a towel. You okay? Akashi didn't answer right away. Bakudo moved in closer, watching him. Keiji, I hurt him. Bakudo blinked. I didn't mean to. But he heard me say something. About work. And he thought. Akashi's jaw clenched. He thought I wanted to cut him out. And he believed it. Not just for a second. For days. Bakudo came to stand beside him. He told you that. He didn't blame me. That's the worst part. Akashi's voice was too even. Too careful. He just looked at me like he understood. Like he expected it eventually. Like he never really believed he deserved to be here in the first place. Bakudo's face softened, expression open and calm. He doesn't think he's enough for you. I know, Akashi whispered. And I should have seen it coming. I should have said more. Done more. Bakudo reached over and touched his hand gently. Keiji, we all missed it. Even Kenma didn't say anything until yesterday. I'm supposed to be the calm one, Akashi said bitterly. The one who sees things clearly. No, Bakudo said, firm now. You're the one who feels things clearly. And that makes you vulnerable too. Akashi looked up at him, and Bakudo continued. You didn't make Kuru feel like this. He already had that little voice in his head. You're just the one he cares about enough to be scared of losing. Akashi's shoulders dropped just slightly. You've never hurt him, Keiji. But you can help him heal. How? Akashi asked quietly. Keep showing up. The way he always does for us. He doesn't need perfect. He just needs you. Akashi let out a long, uneven breath and leaned into Bakudo's chest, letting himself rest there for a moment. Bakudo held him close. You're doing fine, he whispered. And we'll fix it. Together.